Welcome to Film on Tape, a free audio library for creatives in film and television. My name is Misha Calvert, and I've worked as an actor, writer, director, and producer for many decades. I had so many questions when I was first getting started in New York, and I just wanted fast, free answers. That is what this library is for. The work that you do as a creative is so important. I really hope that this library is going to help get your work out there. Film on Tape is sponsored by Vermilion, a coaching and educational company for creatives. You can learn more at clubvermilion.com. What do you do with rejection? As an artist, this is a really tough one because we are getting rejected a lot. Especially as an actor, I know I was there, but also as a writer, also as a director, also as a producer. Everyone in film and TV gets rejected a lot. So how do you handle it? What do you do? What are the steps to move forward in an efficient and self-compassionate way that is also constructive? I think I've kind of mastered it because I have been rejected so many thousands of times in my career. And I'm going to share with you the steps that I now go through so that I can move through a major rejection in maybe one day, one to 2 days. Yeah. I had one recently. I'll refer to it throughout the steps that I'm about to outline so that I can anchor this in a real world example. Okay, so you've just been rejected, and it doesn't matter really whether it's losing out on a big role that you thought you were going to get or that you really, really wanted, or getting so close to selling one of your scripts and then didn't, or you're so close to directing the movie, you've gone through the interviews, you created the bid or whatever, and you don't get it, right? So you've been rejected. Step number 1 is to feel your feelings. Don't brush over it. Don't just roll on past. Don't just get on with your life. Whatever feeling is there, you're going to need that feeling. Go into it. Actually get curious about it. You could be, by the way, hibernating or eating ice cream or whatever you want to do to make yourself feel better, go into the spa on the side. But be aware of your feelings. Don't stuff them. You want to let them come up and out so you can, it's like you want to look at all of the feelings that are erupting right now. If it creates a lava flow, you want to look at the lava and see, whoa, what is this lava? What's here? So step number 2 is when you're looking at all the feelings and allowing them to live in your body and in your heart and in your mind, look at what is underneath those feelings. What's this really about? Because oftentimes the really big disappointment, it's not about what's happening in the moment. It's setting off a chain of emotional events that are connected to something that is much older. A lot of times from childhood, surrounding belonging, validation, being loved, being accepted for who you are, being good enough, being valuable, being listened to, case by case. But the bigger your reaction, most of the time, the more likely it is that this is coming from someplace in childhood. You know the phrase, if it's hysterical, it's historical. So if you can take a moment to look at where the feelings may have their origins, you can actually use rejection as a way to heal a part of yourself or integrate a piece of your psyche that has never had an opportunity to integrate before. It's actually a really big gift if you can just let the feelings come up and then deal with them. So once you find out what it's really about, okay, real world example. I was working on a feature film recently, and I was working with a producer, and we were about to go out to a really, really big company with the script. And I had done 3 versions of the script by now. And right before this really big pitch to this company that we had been planning for and working towards for like months, and I had written like a demon all these different drafts of the script, and it was getting better each time. But we were getting some feedback from some of the people that we were meeting with that it wasn't ready to go out to a pitch meeting, that it needed more writing, it needed more time. I did not want to take the time. I wanted, because it's a sort of a hot political topic right now, chances are if I had taken the year that they were suggesting, someone else would have done it. And as you know, if you are trying to sell a movie and someone has just done a movie about the exact same topic, most of the time, no one's going to fund that movie. Now, we do see some occasions of the exact same topic coming out in like 2 or 3 different movies at the same time, same year, but that's rare. And it's also not great for box office or, whatever money is going to come in. So you kind of want to get there first, especially with a hot political topic. So I didn't want to wait. And knowing that also I could continue writing once we get into development, which is normal. That's literally what development is. You keep writing the script. So this producer that I've been working hand in glove with for months to try and get this to this really prestigious pitch meeting to pitch to these people and investors, 2 days before the meeting, pulled out and tells me that my writing is not strong enough and that my past work isn't strong enough to inspire confidence in being a part of the project anymore. So this was the first time in my career that anyone has said that to me in those words. Perhaps they thought it. Fair enough. But no one has ever said my work was not strong. So this hit me very hard. I felt my feelings. I had 2 days of being very upset. Well, really one day of being beside myself. And then the second day still being quite upset. And then I think I had a trip that I had to go on the third day. So I kind of focused on other things. But as in those 2 days, as I was processing my feelings, I realized that this had come up before in my personal life. It had come up before in other relationships, this exact same pattern playing out. And that it was actually an echo of a pattern from childhood. Fascinating. I had no idea until I took the time to stop and really look at the different roles that different people had played in my life and how some of them were playing just the same kind of character again and again. I was seeing the same, someone playing the villain showing up and someone playing the hero and just different characters and archetypes showing up, but playing out in the same way over different eras of my life. And I was like, oh man, I did it again. I don't want this to happen anymore. I don't want to participate in this psychodrama anymore. And I realized my part of things too. I'm like, oh, I was playing the part of somebody who didn't value my work, among other things. So it's a oversimplification because it actually doesn't matter that much, but I'm telling you this so that you can have some footing in how this applies, and also for you to know that I still go through this. I go through this all the time. And rejection, although it gets easier, it doesn't ever really go away. That's the nature of the business. I am so excited to tell you that I'm launching a brand new slate of classes that are incredibly helpful on my website. Some of the classes include on-camera acting technique and how to self-produce your own film, actor self-care, which is something that nobody talks about, and how to write a feature film in 10 days, which I'm going to teach you how I did it and how you can do it too. And believe me when I say I poured my heart into these courses. Go to clubvermillion.com. I am so excited about this website. I can't wait to work with you. So then step number 4. You figured out what it's really about. You need to move forward. You need to decide to move forward. And that decision to move forward, it doesn't need to be driven by a positive. It can be, but here's some other things that can drive your decision to move forward with the project. Anger, rage, disgust, fear, boredom. You got nothing else going on. You might as well just keep working on it. And also love, of course. Of course, love. In fact, this may be one of the best opportunities to reconnect for your love of this project. If someone's like, I don't see it. You're just not that good a writer, or whatever they're saying. It's not a good idea. You can take that as the kick you need to say, wait a minute, it is a good idea. You just have bad taste. Don't say that to them, but in your head, you just don't know what you're talking about. And you say no, but now I'm double yes. Before I was just a yes, now I'm a double yes. I am back to being fully on my own side about this idea. Actually, like, oh, okay, let's look at your slate. Let's look at the films that you make. Oh, you think my shit's bad? Excuse me. You can really get into it with pulling yourself back up and saying, who the hell is this person to reject me? And then you can decide, okay, well, step number 5, I want to see what's missing. I know it's a good idea, and I'm going to move forward, even if it's just to spite them. I'm going to move forward. What do I need? What do I need to communicate this better? To communicate what I'm doing, or to market myself better, or to become more clear. You know, I was rejected for so many decades as an actor. I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, but that's because I had so many thoughts and feelings that I wasn't allowing to express. They were very full in my head. They weren't coming out in my face and my voice and my body. And so I think a lot of times, I've heard this before, a no is just confused. If they're a no, they're just confused over what they're seeing. They don't see it yet because it's not clear yet. And a lot of times we can help make it more clear. We can help alleviate that confusion by becoming better at communicating the idea, improving our craft, always striving to be in that top 1% of creators, at which point you become undeniable and you will always work. So how can you take this opportunity to, number 5, seek feedback from people that you trust to give you good feedback, not bad feedback. They know what they're talking about, and they can tell it to you in a way that's not going to destroy you when you're down. Take that feedback and really apply it and say, okay, so-and-so rejected me. I'm going to bounce back, and I'm going to get this, whatever this thing is, I'm going to get it to the top 1%. And I am going to be better than anyone else who I was competing with. I will use this as an opportunity to rise, to thrive, to exceed the bar set around me. I cannot wait to be so good at this craft that I'm going to vault 3 levels ahead of where I am right now. The next draft that I deliver, or the next audition that I do, or the next thing that I direct, the next dance that I dance, the next song that I sing. I am going to go so in on becoming incredible and connecting to what I want to say that, and this is the part where you start to do the Oscar acceptance speech, and then you thank the person who rejected you for giving you the motivation, and then you name them, and then now I'm getting into my personal fantasy. But so number 5, seek feedback. Number 6, implement that feedback. Execute on what the people you trust are telling you. Execute to get as far as you can toward that top 1%. That is your revenge. That is your comeback. Because the industry is not big enough that if you're in the top 1%, you will remain anonymous. It's not possible. There's so few people who are genuinely extraordinary at their craft, there is always room at the top. So number 6, you take the feedback that you've been given and you become undeniable. And number 7, you do the whole thing all over again. This is the cycle of not rejection. This is the cycle of growth. This is the cycle of creative excellence. And it's a cycle I've lived many hundreds of times, and I hope to live many hundreds more. Because the results that you get from working in this way, of taking every no and turning it into a grow. Oh, I just came up with that. That's pretty good. Guys, write that down. Taking the moments that feel like failure and alchemizing them into your personal Phoenix moment. If you could do that once a month, you're years beyond. And I salute you. This is me at the microphone, holding my hand up, saluting you. And by the way, I haven't said it yet, but whatever rejection that you've faced recently, I'm so sorry. I know the listeners of this podcast. I know you guys, and I know how incredibly talented and ambitious and dedicated you are. This isn't, the folks that tune into this are not hacks. Y'all are extremely talented and you all have something incredible to say. So I'm really sorry that whoever couldn't see it, but I see you. So follow these steps, and I know that whatever you are working on, the next version is going to be incredible. I have such a clear vision of it, and I can't wait to see your project come to life. All right, see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to Film on Tape. If you like the way that I approach the industry, check out our other classes, consulting, and mentorship at clubvermilion.com. Vermilion is a home for artists and those looking to expand creatively. Whether you're an actor, a film professional, an entrepreneur, or a CEO, we'll help you find your voice and hone your skills to thrive in any market at any scale. You can schedule a free phone consultation at clubvermilion.com.